We're going to go to the newsroom.
Coming up in NBN News, a young man mauled by a shark at a popular Port Macquarie beach. Kamala Harris kicks off her campaign to be the next US president, while Joe Biden prepares to return to the White House. The boss of the US Secret Service slammed over the Donald Trump assassination attempt. Nurses and midwives rally around northern New South Wales in their fight for better pay and conditions. And adopted Novocastrian surfing star Sarah Bourne bound for the Olympics. Details next. Tonight, a man ferried to hospital after a shark attack at a Port Macquarie beach.
Straight on the campaign trail, Kamala Harris begins her bid to be US president.
Nurses and midwives rally across New South Wales seeking a 15% pay rise.
One home destroyed and a second damaged by a fierce blaze in the Hunter.
And the Eels ready to fight for their jobs as new coach Jason Riles prepares for a clean-out.
This is NBN News.
Good evening. A young Mid-North Coast surfer is lucky to be alive tonight following a shark attack at Port Macquarie.
Witnesses, including a retired police officer, rushed to save the 23-year-old after he was bitten on the leg at around 11 a.m.
Kai McKenzie was going for a morning surf on Port Macquarie's North Shore when he was suddenly attacked by a 3-metre white shark.
So he was able to tell us once he got in the ambulance that he actually saw the shark and fought it off. So then he's caught a wave into shore, which is a pretty courageous thing to be able to do.
The 23-year-old taken to hospital via ferry, suffering serious leg injuries. Paramedics say he's lucky to be alive, saved by witnesses and a retired police officer.
He was walking his dog, come across the young male with a quite significant injury to his leg. He used the dog's lead as a tourniquet and essentially has saved his life.
So the guards responded via jet ski to help render assistance. Yeah, obviously anything involving a shark attack can be quite traumatic.
Police recovered Kai's surfboard, and while he was initially transported to Port Macquarie Hospital. Late this afternoon, he was airlifted to the John Hunter for further treatment. Members of shark attack victims support group Bite Club have been quick to offer their help as he faces a long recovery. Kevin Young lost his son Zach in an attack on the Mid-North Coast a decade ago.
So I just dropped what I was doing and I thought I'd come over. It's nearly identical to my son's situation.
The Department of Primary Industries has set up additional smart drum lines in response to today's incident, while beaches in the area remain closed. Marina Trajkovic, NBN News.
Kamala Harris has already secured enough support to become the presumptive Democratic nominee for US president.
The former prosecutor giving her first campaign speech just 24 hours after Joe Biden bowed out.
Campaign Kamala in full swing. A power trip for Beyonce for the new headline act, vying to make history.
It is my intention to go out and earn this nomination and to win.
Dialing in President Joe Biden from COVID isolation.
You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
This the first time the world has heard him in days.
The name has changed at the top of the ticket, but the mission hasn't changed at all.
The baton passed, Kamala Harris now has enough support to take on Donald Trump.
Joe, are you watching? You hear this clapping? Can you see it?
I'm watching. I'm watching.
A hard campaign reset. This was very much the Kamala show in front of adoring campaign staff in Delaware.
We have doors to knock on. We have people to talk to. We have phone calls to make. And we have an election to win.
And straight away, the former prosecutor found her attack line on a convicted criminal.
Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
As she drew her battle lines,
Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. If Trump gets the chance, he will sign a national abortion ban to outlaw abortion in every single state, but we are not going to let that happen.
Like the president, arguing America will be at a crossroads.
We each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law?
Yes!
Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate?
The party convention forming as a coronation, delegates and endorsements rolling in. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi joining Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
We cannot let Donald Trump anywhere near the White House. Let's go.
The appearance of overnight unity after weeks of discontent causing a stir.
Vice President Kamala Harris has excited the community. She's excited the House Democratic Caucus, and she's exciting the country.
And filling in at the White House.
Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast.
In front of young sports people, young voters.
Kamala Harris has shattered glass ceilings throughout her career, and now she stands here on the south lawn of the White House hoping to do it once more, only this time to become the first female president of the United States of America and call this place home.
Fighting against her, a fired-up Donald Trump, blasting his likely opponent as vicious and dumb. His vice presidential pick claiming a cover-up over Joe Biden's health.
That is not a way to run a country. That is not a way to run a political party. That is an insult to voters.
The plea to tone down rhetoric lost on one Republican.
If we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country.
The lines are drawn in the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's going to be a long and bitter battle for the future.
And when we fight, we...
At the White House, Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
Kamala Harris got her campaign off to a strong start, but this is just the beginning. President Joe Biden will return to the White House in a matter of hours, the first time he'll be seen publicly since he quit the race. He's due to meet Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a couple of days' time, and there's an expected address to the nation on his decision not to run, and the world will be watching.
The director of America's Secret Service has been slammed by Congress, but is refusing to resign over the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. The agency boss fronted a hearing accepting responsibility for the major security failure, but providing no answers as to how it happened.
On July 13th, we failed.
The director of the United States Secret Service has a lot to answer for, but seemingly none of the answers.
What are you hiding, my friend?
I'm not covering anything.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. Hearing is right there.
9 days ago, Thomas Crooks was able to climb onto a roof and take aim at Donald Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
The 20-year-old had been spotted by rallygoers and identified as suspicious.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they constitute a threat.
The agency boss telling Congress members the attempt on Donald Trump's life was the biggest failure in decades, but Kimberly Cheetle refused to spell out exactly what went wrong.
Well, that's... Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no? I would have to get back to you. That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Tonight, calls growing for her resignation.
See that water tower behind me? Had Secret Service or anybody had sniper teams up there, this guy wouldn't have made it.
Assassination is big stuff. When you have essentially a flat, open roof like that, and it's direct to the target with absolutely nothing in its way, how can somebody be up there?
The Secret Service says it will be 60 days before there's a report on how the former president was almost taken out.
You are a complete failure as the director of the Secret Service.
In the United States, Lauren Tomasi, NBN News.
Hundreds of nurses across New South Wales stayed back after their shifts today to rally outside hospitals as part of their push for a pay rise. The Nurses and Midwives Association wants a 15% boost in 1 year. The Minns government is offering 10.5% over 3.
We are on 2008 wages in 2024 in New South Wales. Our nurses are leaving and crossing the border to go to other states because the pay is better over there.
Obviously, there's a limit to how much the taxpayers in this state can afford. The union and the government have been meeting weekly for negotiations, but are in a stalemate.
Nurses and midwives across the Hunter took part in the action. The union says local hospital staff are being forced to work overtime on a regular basis, and it's having a negative impact on patient care.
They offered us 10.3% over 3 years. That is 3% a year is all they think we are worth, yet they expect us to come and work in a failing health system. That's not showing they value us.
Hunter New England Health was contacted for comment.
A multi-million-dollar investment in social housing has been announced in Hunter, with new homes and upgrades planned across the region. But with waiting times now more than a decade long in some areas, authorities admit there's plenty more work to be done.
Tucked into a back street at Waratah West, 10 new social housing units now complete and set to welcome families in the coming weeks.
More homes for Australians who are doing it tough. What you see here today is an example of a partnership and collaboration between 3 tiers of government.
Together, state, federal and local have invested more than $45 million in a variety of projects across the Hunter. 9 new homes are under construction at Wallsend. They'll be complete next year, with others on the way at Waratah, as well as Lambton, while older social homes at 2 sites in Maryland are set to be redeveloped to create 25 new units.
As a person who is proudly from Windale and social housing when I was born, and, you know, it gave my mum and dad a start with a big family, and we hope to be able to give more people a start.
The jointly funded program is a first for Newcastle Council.
The city is contributing around $2 million a year in this very novel memorandum of understanding we have with Homes New South Wales in order to speed up the delivery of new social housing homes.
It will also see almost $1 million spent to upgrade 9 existing social homes currently uninhabitable. Across the Hunter, waiting times for 1 and 2 bedroom social housing is at an all-time high. At Lake Macquarie and Port Stephens, it's more than 10 years, while other parts of the Hunter have 5 to 10 year waits.
This is really just the start of what I hope you will be seeing, a good, healthy pipeline of new housing stock in Newcastle and the Hunter region.
Tony Abragetti, NBN News.
A plan to extend parking restrictions in Newcastle CBD will be debated by Council tonight. The motion, put forward by Liberal councillors, would see 2-hour parking from 9 till 12 on Saturday become 9 to 4 all weekend. The councillors argue it would increase car turnover and help small business.
Tributes are flowing for one of the Hunter's most prominent domestic violence support workers after Marsha Chapman sadly passed away at age 65. Ms Chapman spent 35 years at Jenny's Place, the final 9 as executive manager. She's being remembered for her decades of service to survivors of domestic and family violence, with her peers describing her as the living embodiment of courage.
Pet owners and vets are speaking out after a string of serious dog attacks across the Hunter. Some locals turning to training programs to rebuild their animals' confidence after run-ins with aggressive hounds.
The local dog park is designed to be a safe space for pups, but some owners are having second thoughts about taking pets out after a string of bad experiences. Support dog Chadwick still shaken after an incident at Spears Point.
One dog actually had him pinned down by his shoulders, while the other dog actually had his mouth around his neck.
Vet Tasneem Baranwala has been concerned by the cases she's seen at her Morisset clinic.
Lots of blood loss that can also be life-threatening.
Millie, the Border Collie's owners, have enrolled her in a special training course following multiple run-ins with aggressive dogs.
A little bit of barking and a little bit of uncertainty from Millie.
The 3-week intensive program is run by Kip Happy Stays and designed to boost a dog's confidence again.
Building positive relationships, working on behaviours and building new skills for them.
And Millie's owners aren't alone. 29 other Lake Macquarie residents reporting run-ins with dogs between January and March this year. Cessnock and Port Stephens councils each reporting 13 incidents and Maitland 41. Maitland Council says it takes attacks seriously and will continue to invest in the expansion of its animal management facility, while Lake Macquarie Council is urging locals to be thorough when they report incidents.
Collect some really good information, time, location, description of the dog, any vehicles that leave with that attacking dog.
Risa Utama, NBN News.
Former federal MP Bob Baldwin has announced he won't enter the race for Port Stephens Mayor. The retired Liberal politician flagged a possible comeback earlier this month, saying he wanted to bring an independent voice to council. But today he admitted that despite support from the community, a number of conflicts have arisen and he won't be able to fulfil the responsibilities of the role.
Gothic favourite, The Woman in Black, opens tonight at Newcastle's Civic Theatre. It's the second longest running play in the history of London's West End, and the cast of the Aussie production says it'll keep audiences here on edge.
I think this is the kind of play where people say, oh, look, you've just got to see this, just don't miss it. It's not, you don't sort of sit back and intellectualise about it. You feel it viscerally, in your body when you see this play, and you want your friends to have the same experience.
The production runs until Sunday.
Taking a quick look at the temperatures across the Hunter today. Plenty of sunshine. 20 degrees the top at Lake Macquarie, down to 9 degrees overnight in Newcastle, topping out at 19. Cessnock also reached 19 degrees.
Still ahead, several people injured and the Pacific Highway closed after 2 cars and a truck crash on the mid-north coast.
A scare in the Australian camp, days out from the Olympics. We're live to Paris for the latest.
And Julian Assange and his family enjoying his newfound freedom.
Ford has a head-turning new arrival, Ranger Black Edition, with black 17-inch alloys and side steps, long sports bar, bedliner and cargo management system, starting from just $57,990 drive away. Inquire now at your Ford dealer while stocks last.
Do you have Hep C? The good news is a cure may be simple. And by taking just a few easy steps, a cash reward could be yours, no matter where you live in Australia. Just use our website to register and find out more about this ethics-approved project. Done! It's that simple. So why wait? Your Hep C-free life could start today. Search Motivate C.
What does it take to make an Australian icon? A single piece of leather. Your fair share of musters, dust, drought, and deluge. A stitch or two. A few loyal friends. More years than you'd care to remember. And a bloke with a vision of a better way. What does it take to make an Australian icon? Well, it helps to be made here.
Get into Anaconda for the best value snow gear with $49.99 adult snow jackets and pants and $39.99 kids snow jackets and pants. Gear up the whole family this winter. Play more and pay less. Anaconda!
It's hard when you start to struggle at home. When you might need care at any hour, not just when someone visits. For care that goes beyond your needs and supports the whole you and your independence, choose Glengara Care. It's not alone, it's an apartment home in a community. Glengara Care, your home with care. to you by NRMA Insurance. We're here to help.
A couple is lucky to be alive after their home was destroyed by fire at Port Stephens. The blaze quickly spread to a neighbouring property, local residents and fire crews rushing to help.
The glow lit up Madawi.
We heard pop and crack and we thought he was just burning something, but realised that the house was on fire.
And the odds were stacked against firefighters when they arrived at Silver Wattle Drive yesterday evening, finding one home engulfed in towering flames.
Quite intense, and the fact that it was fully involved by the time they got there meant that we couldn't do anything to save the house, unfortunately.
Neighbours had already rushed to help the couple inside.
And so I ran inside and told my husband, and he ran out and, had a look and got the people out of the house.
The inferno is believed to have started in the carport, spreading to the rest of the weatherboard home in just minutes.
There was a car fire, it had extended into the building. It had also impacted the building next door.
That second house suffered extensive damage to its kitchen. The first left charred inside and out.
Fire crews arrived within minutes of the first call to 000, but it still took around 6 hours to extinguish the blaze.
Forensic officers spent this morning searching for clues as to how the fire started. Police aren't treating it as suspicious.
It just goes to show that a fire can move rapidly through a house, so early detection is always the best choice.
Thankfully, no one was injured.
I'm just happy that everyone's okay. It's very sad.
Lauren Kemp, NBN News.
An Australian woman has allegedly been raped by 5 men in Paris just days out from the Olympics. French police are now investigating after the 25-year-old was found with her dress on backwards and partly torn outside a restaurant at around 5 a.m. on Sunday. The attack is said to have happened near the Moulin Rouge nightclub.
The Australian Olympic team is dealing with a health scare with athletes from 2 sports forced into isolation. Damien Ryan joins us live from Paris. Damo, who's been impacted?
Tash, we've sadly got the track and field and our women's water polo team. In fact, the water polo girls were just here a few days ago enjoying the beautiful sights of Paris. Now we have one player testing positive to COVID late last night, and of course she was immediately placed in isolation. The good news is this morning she is not too unwell, is expected to train today in an outdoor pool, so they are confident she will be good to go. Over at athletics, well, they took a team photo this morning, but there were 2 stars missing. High jumper Brendan Stark and discus thrower Matt Denny were not there. They're in isolation. They're in their room, locked away. They're ill, but they are not suffering COVID. For Anna Mears, the team boss, she is obviously very nervous and wants to be, honestly sure that everyone is okay when the competition begins.
This is a high-performance environment, so we are being diligent, but I need to emphasise that we are treating COVID no differently to other bugs like the flu. This is not Tokyo.
It might not be Tokyo, but the masks are certainly back on at the Athletes Village as our athletes move around. And yesterday there was a president in the house, but he only had eyes for one country. The Olympics may still be 3 days away, but for the embattled French president, his games are already underway. Emmanuel Macron visited the Athletes Village, home to Olympians from all over the world, but he had his favourite. He brushed the Australian cap, easing the disappointment for one of his fans.
I was really hopeful that I could hang around and get a selfie, but I had to this press conference.
Because of the show, but they will be outnumbered with the biggest security operation in the country's history. With the whole world watching, this is a golden opportunity for the French president, Mr. Macron, to ride the Olympic wave and put aside that political turmoil he's currently dealing with. And with the new presidential friend, the IOC's Thomas Bach, in his corner, the French leader couldn't resist.
We will try to do our best as well to make Olympic truth a reality.
The women's sevens rugby team received a warm welcome when they checked into the village.
Welcome Australia, welcome.
Our nation is waiting to join the cheer squad, hoping for a gold rush, but the team boss is not setting a medal target. a ploy that worked in Tokyo.
It allows the athletes to just focus on their performance, their processes and application, and looks after itself.
But first, settling into village life is the focus. Tennis stars Darius Saville and Ellen Perez giving Paris's famous cardboard beds Damien Ryan, NBN News.
5 people have been taken to hospital after a major crash which shut part of the Pacific Highway north of Foster. Police are now investigating with traffic control tonight still in place 6 hours on.
A delicate rescue mission. Emergency services work to save a man trapped in the wreckage of a car crash at Possum Brush.
Just hope they're okay. Pretty bad, so yeah, unfortunately for the people that are involved.
3 vehicles were involved in the smash, which unfolded just before midday, when a truck attempted to cross the northbound lanes of the Pacific Highway from Possum Brush Road.
Collided into the side of a caravan. That caravan has subsequently come apart or detached from the towing vehicle. That vehicle was rolled a number of times and then inadvertently taking out a third car.
Paramedics treated 5 patients on scene, among them a male driver aged in his 30s, who was airlifted to John Hunter Hospital in a critical condition. The other 4 also hospitalised with minor injuries. The collision caused big traffic delays, closing the northbound section for hours and seeing heavy vehicles queued. Police have launched an investigation, calling in a specialist imaging team to help determine what caused the crash. But regular users of the road say the intersection has long been a problem.
A lot of people cut this corner here and it does bite you in the bum if you're not careful.
Kendra Jewell, NBN News.
Next, restaurant stabbing, an Australian tourist killed at a Thailand holiday spot.
Up 9% in a year, a new report reveals more pain in the rental market.
And happy birthday, George, the new photo of the tween future king.
Bring home something exciting. The Volkswagen T-Roc is in stock, now with an exceptional factory bonus offer across a wide range. Volkswagen.
It ain't only restaurants anymore. We can go bananas at the grocery store. All the things I want with just a few clicks. From vitamins to flowers coming at me quick. Did somebody say me and you love?
Dad, have you seen the donkeys? Should have gone to Specsavers. Look at all this today.
I'll get this.
ANZ Falcon technology provides fraud protection for ANZ cards. Whenever you pay, anywhere in the world. ANZ card protection, now it's personal.
Remember, we're just here for a tow ball. Oh, we might need to take this tow ball out for a test drive.
Find your O with a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across the Hilux range. Toyota.
Best sheds up to 40% cheaper. Triple garage is $8,600. 4-car garage $7,250.
15% off sale is on right now at Best Sheds.
Call Best Sheds on 1-800 15 17 18.
The Nick Scully Winter Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 50% at the Winter Sale. Ends Sunday at Nick Scully.
It's time to hit the ice and see your 6-time national champions, the Newcastle All Stars, take on the best from around Australia. For tickets and game day information, information, visit northstars.com.au. Major sponsor, Newcastle Psychiatry.
What's your pitch? Forget the pitch. You've got an itch.
That itch could be dandruff. Silence it. Head and Shoulders removes up to 100% dandruff and itch. Head and Shoulders.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A 23-year-old man is in John Hunter Hospital tonight after being attacked by a 3-metre white shark off Port Macquarie's North Shore. A Port Stephens couple is lucky to be alive after flames engulfed their home last night and damaged the kitchen of a neighbouring property. Several people have been injured, with 5 in hospital following a multi-vehicle collision on the mid coast, which saw the northbound lanes of the Pacific Highway closed. Nurses and midwives have rallied outside hospitals across northern New South Wales as part of their campaign for a 15% pay rise. And a Bellingen business is helping to make the City of Lights shine a little brighter, supplying stock for a unique exhibit within the Olympic Village in Paris.
A 43-year-old man has been granted bail accused of leading an alleged sex trafficking ring in Sydney operating out of brothels up to the Central Coast. The man is accused of luring a teenage girl from Indonesia to become a sex worker. The AFP says it has rescued 20 potential victims. Rent rises are outpacing wage increases and inflation despite improvements in terms of construction worker numbers and skills. Tonight, the cost of housing is the biggest impact on the cost of living, and the Albanese government is well aware it will be a key factor come election day.
Opening the door on a new home in Newcastle, the Housing Minister on a tour of 10 semi-detached low-cost houses. These homes will make a big difference, but building enough homes is a huge challenge.
We need more homes for Australians to buy, more homes for Australians to rent, and more homes for Australians who are doing it tough.
And it's getting worse. Rental prices up 9.1% from June last year, according to PropTrack. Remarkably, that's a slowdown, but still double the current rate of inflation and wage growth.
The Australian dream is dead, and Labor and the Liberals killed it with tax handouts to property investors.
State and federal governments are vowing to build 1.2 million homes by 2029. That will require an increase in infrastructure to support new suburbs.
In terms of housing, we obviously have invested $1.5 billion in infrastructure to assist bringing and de-risking housing developments.
Tonight, with the construction wing of the CFMEU isolated from the union movement and the Labor Party, the government insists this will speed up construction.
We have zero tolerance for the sort of behaviour we have seen from the CFMEU.
The fact that Labor ministers, including the Prime Minister, are saying that they didn't know that this was an issue absolutely beggars belief.
The shortage of skills and labour is improving according to industry groups, but so far that improvement is only being felt in our biggest cities.
Typically ends up with build times blowing out. It also sees pressure on the prices that trades are demanding.
We know we need homes of every type. We know that too many Australians are doing it tough and finding it difficult to have a safe, affordable place to call home.
Charles Croucher, NBN News.
A parliamentary committee has heard evidence of a rapid increase in so-called deep-fake porn. E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant says videos generated by artificial intelligence make up 98% of deepfake material on the internet, almost all of which depicts women and girls. Laws currently before Parliament would criminalise the sharing of non-consensual deepfake porn.
An Australian man has been stabbed to death in Thailand. The 35-year-old was found at Ao Nang Beach in the country's south after an argument outside a restaurant turned violent. Thai media says a 43-year-old American man has been arrested and was allegedly found with a knife.
6 people have been killed and 6 others injured after a man opened fire at an aged care home in Croatia. The gunman fled the scene before being arrested at a nearby cafe. Officials say one of the victims was the man's mother.
The last surviving original member of the Motown group, the Four Tops, has died aged 88. Abdul Duke Fakir was part of hits such as Can't Help Myself and Reach Out, I'll Be There. The The music legend suffered heart failure. To finance now, and the 3-day retreat has ended on the Australian share market. Dougal Beattie has the details.
A rebound for the Australian share market today after a rally in US tech stocks led by big jumps by Nvidia and Tesla, while CrowdStrike extended its losses, tumbling another 13.5%. Back home, the ASX 200 rose by 0.5%. Most sectors were in the green. WiseTech added 2.2%. JB Hi-Fi jumped 2.6% to a record high, but Woodside Energy fell 3.7% to a 4-week low off the back of a disappointing quarterly production report. And Donald Trump's increasing odds added strength to the greenback. The Aussie dollar is buying 66 US cents, 61 euro cents and 51 British pence.
Julian Assange is clearly enjoying his newfound freedom, seen having a day at the beach with his family. The photo, posted by his wife Stella, shows the couple with their children, Gabriel and Max. The WikiLeaks founder returned to Australia a month ago after being released from prison following a 14-year legal battle with the US.
Prince George has turned 11, with Kensington Palace releasing a new photograph of the royal tween to mark the occasion, taken by his mother, the Princess of Wales. The smartly dressed future king is growing up fast. Time certainly flies, doesn't it?
Brings a tear to the eye.
Adam Murray is here now with sport.
Adam, Eels players, they're bracing for a roster clean-out.
New coach Jason Riles is ready to make some changes. Coming up next, Parramatta stars vow to fight for their jobs. Plus, all eyes on the Knights at the NRLW season launch. And our top-ranked tennis player bounces back in time for the Olympics.
Tax cuts are here, and people will now start to see them in their take-home pay. The Australian government's tax cuts are for every taxpayer, helping Australians keep more of what they earn. Visit taxcuts.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
With up to 20% off selected bedroom furniture and mattresses, like the Sleepscape Deluxe Queen Mattress, just $479. Hurry in store or online at Fantastic Furniture. T&Cs apply. Find your fantastic.
Advance. It's worth shaping our future way of life.
And coal, metals and minerals like those mined by Glencore help to make it possible.
Cobalt nickel for electric cars.
Help change the future of how we drive.
Did you know we lose up to 15% of our muscle mass every decade? Ensure is a nutritional drink clinically shown to give 30% greater strength in 30 days. Feel the Ensure difference and stand for strength today.
Because they count on you, count on it. Australia's only 10-year warranty with 10 years cap price servicing. Mitsubishi 1010. You can count on it.
It's time to hit the ice and see your 6-time national champions, the Newcastle North Stars, take on the best from around Australia. For tickets and game day information, visit northstars.com.au. Major sponsor, Newcastle Psychiatry.
When my marriage fell apart, I felt totally helpless. And I thought I only want to go through this once. But I want a lawyer who's been through this hundreds of times. Val Bosch's advice is spot on.
Get it sorted. Call Val Bosch Lawyers.
Rough cold, bro. Try Vicks Vapor Drops Extra Strong. Up to 3 times more menthol. How's the nose and throat? Vicks Vapor
cholesterol.
Jason Riles is already in the heads of Eels players, and he hasn't even stepped foot in the club yet. Parramatta Stars admit they're playing for their futures as the incoming coach prepares to shake up the underperforming roster.
Together for now, but how many of these Eels could be on the way out?
Reg reminds me every day that I'm about to get a tap on the shoulder, but we all joke around about it because there's nothing else you can really do.
Not everyone finds reports of a Jason Riles roster clean-out amusing.
Our job's on the line, so we got to play for a contract, we got to play to stay here, and we've got to put our best foot forward for the club and for our future coach.
There are no hard feelings towards the incoming boss.
That's Riles' job to come in and do what he thinks necessary to get this club in the right direction, and so be it.
But with 7 matches left this season, Parramatta players are ready to fight for their future.
And you got to think about what you can control and continue trying to do that and plan for pride in the jersey and pride in your own performance.
One player who won't have to worry about his contract is Mitchell Moses. The injured halfback still has a crucial role to play in helping the Eels avoid the wooden spoon.
He's a big voice in this club. He drives a lot of the standards around here too, so it'd be good to get him back in the club and keep us going.
Luke Doversey, NBN News.
Souths believe their horror start to the season could actually be a blessing in disguise in the long run.
We stayed strong through it all, you know. I think it creates a lot closer of a group when you go through hard times. So yeah, could have done us a bit of favour.
The Rabbitohs will be chasing back-to-back wins when they take on the Raiders in Canberra on Sunday. Api Coruscant will be the only member of the Tigers' spine born before the year 2000 when they face the Warriors on Friday. But the skipper isn't worried about his young cubs, confident the next generation can prove itself on the big stage.
Api Coruscant back just when the Tigers need him most, steering the youngest spine in the competition.
Combined age of 13 or something, but yeah, it's one of those things, man. You just got to do what you got to do.
The skipper, confident 19-year-old halfback Latu Fainu has what it takes, thrown into the starting side as they try to avoid a third straight wooden spoon.
I think he just sort of needs an opportunity to show himself. Incredible athlete, but I think he's even better footy player. And at the end of the day, it's sink or swim. The boys trust these guys.
At the tail end of his career, Luke Keary turned to premiership-winning rooster James Maloney when he decided to backflip on retirement, helping influence his decision to sign with Catalan Dragons for next year.
He obviously spent a lot of time there. He really enjoyed it. His family enjoyed it. So he's got 4 kids. We've got 3, so it's kind of a similar situation. But yeah, James was good. Had a couple of good pieces of advice.
As Keary looks to the future, so is the NRL. CEO Andrew Abdo revealing the bold plans for expansion could result in shorter seasons.
It's possible that there may be less rounds going forward. For us, it's about the quality of the competition, and it's also about the quality of the whole season structure.
Abdo helping launch the 7th season of NRLW, which begins on Thursday. 2-time defending premiers Newcastle embracing the pressure of being the hunted.
We really got real high expectations for us as a team and as a squad, so I think that internal drive that we have has been really helpful for us.
Nicole Dunn, NBN News.
Swans premiership winner Sam Reid has retired effective immediately, admitting his body is no longer up for the fight after 15 years in the AFL. Forward Tom Papley is hopeful of overcoming his ankle injury in time for the finals. Will Hayward and Dane Rampy are both facing fitness tests ahead of Sunday's clash with the Bulldogs. Alex de Minaur has shrugged off the effects of a painful hip injury suffered at Wimbledon and is set to take his place in the Olympic tennis tournament. The world number 6 will arrive in Paris on Thursday following a recovery which seemed impossible a fortnight ago.
Alex de Minaur is renowned for his never quit attitude, but when he was forced to pull out of Wimbledon earlier this month, it appeared he would suffer a heartbreaking double fault. His Olympic dream, another casualty. But today, everything changed.
Well, to finally be able to represent Australia in the Olympics is a dream come true.
2 weeks of intense treatment seemingly working a miracle, and this social media post was the confirmation.
I'm Alex de Minaur, and I'm extremely excited to lace up for Paris 2024.
That was accompanied by a photo with his Olympic teammates. One of them, Ayla Tomljanovic, welcomed the news when she touched down in Paris.
I don't know if you know this news, but Alex de Minaur has said that he's actually going to play. Of course he is. It's Demon. He'll never miss an opportunity to put the green and gold on. Alex de Minaur is one of 5 debutants in this Australian tennis team, a list that also includes Matthew Ebden, the world's number 3 doubles player, finally chasing gold, aged 36. Wife Kim and son Harvey are with him to soak up the experience.
Haven't been before, so it's exciting and very new, which at my stage of my career and age, it's quite rare to find a new experience.
Ebden partners John Peers in the doubles when the tournament begins on the Roland Garros clay. In Paris, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
The USA has gone big in selecting its men's flag bearer for Paris, with legendary basketball LeBron James clearly chuffed when Steph Curry told him he'd received the honour.
For someone to have the flag bearer and to wave the flag for not only for us as the men's national team, but for all the Olympians, I hold that with the utmost honour. And
LeBron has won 2 gold medals and is competing at his 4th Games. Next, going for gold, half a world away, we catch up with adopted Novocastrian Sarah Baum ahead of her Olympic debut.
My daughter did teach me many things. I was the one that gave Mum Fairy 30-minute miracle. And Steph taught me to save energy by switching from 60 to 30 in the Electrolux dishwasher. Looks clean. See, in 30 minutes.
That's Fairy squeaking clean. The rooster's calling. Go fetch. Red Rooster, smoking barbecue crunch.
The Hyundai Tucson run-out sale has just gotten bigger. Pick up a petrol variant and enjoy a factory bonus of up to $1,500 or $3,000 on diesel variants. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer.
Trailblazers, wildcards, middle-arm maestros. No one dictates their doom. Armed with nothing more than a trolley vehicle, marching to the beat of their own wallets. They've got groceries in the bag. They're Aldi to the core. Aldi, good different.
Get into the Good Guys for a massive TV sale. Get this 98-inch Samsung TV for $5,995. $1,000 off this 83-inch LG TV. $200 off this 75-inch TCL TV plus $100 off this JBL soundbar. Pay less every day at the Good Guys.
Qué vida, María. Verás el hombre más
You can't say no.
You can't say no.
Not again. Why do I always bruise like a pea?
It's Bruisies, the fast, easy way to assist with bruising, swelling, scars and wound healing.
Oh, I'm ripe for the picking now.
Bruisies, available from leading pharmacies and clinics.
Jake sold his motorbike in his 20s to buy a new engagement ring. Today, it's his turn for a surprise. IMB Bank, right by you.
If you're an executor of a will, you understand your risks and responsibilities? As an executor, you need clarity. For an informative chat, turn to the experts at Turnbull Hill Lawyers.
Good people to turn to.
Ian's Walker Bar stock a large range of Yeti products, from coffee mugs, beer coasters, and also the new Yeti luggage range. Ian's Walker Bar have got it all. Yeti at Ian's Walker Bar.
This report brought to you by Samuel Tuna. Nothing compares.
Adopted Novocastrian Sarah Baum has arrived in Tahiti ahead of her Olympic debut. NBN News caught up with the South African surfer as she prepares to tackle one of the world's most notorious waves. Congratulations, going to an Olympic Games for South Africa. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I've watched the games throughout my whole life. It was like the most exciting thing every 4 years to watch. And yeah, as soon as they announced that surfing was a part of the Olympics, it was one of my main goals to qualify and represent South Africa.
You've had to do it a bit of a different way. Obviously,
now based here in Newcastle in Australia, but still super proud to represent your home nation.
Yeah, absolutely. Newcastle's, ever since I moved there, everyone's welcomed me in with open arms, and in a way I'm representing both sort of countries. Last year we went to El Salvador for our sort of qualifier and at the ISA World Games, and I had to place top 30 out of the whole event, and then the top African as well.
How much pressure was that going to those ISA World Games and knowing you had to be in the top 30?
Yeah, a lot of pressure. In one of my heats, I actually ended up breaking my foot during the event, during the heat. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of just simplified everything for me. It was like, you know, all you need to do now is just survive on your foot. And I had a few hairline fractures and then as well as a Lisfranc injury. So it was quite daunting.
Now let's go to Tahiti. This is where Chopu, that famous wave. But before we get to that famous wave, the Olympic Village for the surfing event. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so our village is essentially on a cruise ship.
Have you ever been on a cruise before?
No, I actually haven't.
maybe you'll become a cruise fan after this.
Yeah, maybe that's my new prime hobby. I just love being on cruise ships.
Now let's go to the wave, Chopu. What is that wave really like?
Oh, it's pretty gnarly. Physically, I'm ready. Mentally, I'm ready. But on the day, she's going to decide what happens, and I just want to take that ride and just see how we go and just give it my all.
We're going for Australia and South Africa in the women's event, so all the best of luck.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Charlestown has a short turnaround following its massive 21-0 weekend win over Warners Bay in the NPLW. Missouri faces the Magpies in a catch-up game later tonight. Will also be playing on tired legs, backing up from a 2-2 draw against Newcastle Olympic on Saturday. Meanwhile, New Lambton will be looking to make it 3 wins on the trot when it faces the Panthers tomorrow night. West will be going for 3 in a row in the Hunter Coast Premier Hockey League this weekend after bagging a narrow 1-0 win over the Tigers. As for Maitland, its finals hopes remain alive thanks to a draw with ladder leaders Gosford in round 14 and South upstage North 2-1. Returning to the NRLW, and the Knights have nailed the recipe for success in the past 2 seasons, but now that recipe is being tweaked. New coach Ben Jeffries naming 2 debutants for Newcastle's round 1 clash on Thursday as the season was officially launched.
Flying the flag for the Knights, Nita Maynard got an early look at the opposition and the silverware in Sydney. The Knights' quest for a three-peat, a hot topic, along with Sam Bremner's shock return from retirement for the Roosters.
Lucky she's always fit and ready to go, and had no idea until she rocked up to training, and everyone was really excited.
Back home, Knights coach Ben Jeffries isn't bothered about the rest of the competition. He just wants his players to meet the standards he set.
Shanice Parkers, Liv Higgins, they actually said we want to be challenged, so they've thrown down the challenge to me, I suppose, in that front, but also themselves.
We've got obviously a bit of evolution in our game. I think the game's getting fitter and faster, and I think we've done that. You'll see a few players step it up from last year.
Jeffries including 2 Kiwi debutants in the team to face the Roosters.
We've got Isabella, who will make a debut on the wing, and then Grace Kukatai will make a debut as well.
Waterman will fill the void left by Jasmine Strange, who will line up for the opposition, coached by her dad.
It's always going to be an exciting game of football. I can't wait, and I know Jazzy probably can't wait as well.
The season kicks off at McDonald Jones Stadium on Thursday night. Sophie Scanlon, NBN News.
Cessnock is keeping busy off the field in Newcastle Rugby League, re-signing former Knight and local junior Braden Musgrove for 2 more years. English import Lewis Young has also extended his stay in the Hunter Valley for another season. In a boost for Central, several of its stars have recommitted to the club, showing faith in new coach Adam Bettridge. The Anderson brothers, Cameron and Kane, as well as Lachlan O'Brien and Logan Radsovich, are all staying at Charlestown until at least the end of 2026. South and Maitland headline a big round 13 in the women's competition this weekend. Fresh off a bye, the Lions are on a 4-game winning streak, heading into the top 3 clash with the Pickers, who are coming off a monster 36-8 win over Wyong. The Roos, meanwhile, will be looking to bounce back when they take on Central, who beat West last weekend 28-16. And in Group 21, the Thoroughbreds' perfect run continues, heading into the final 4 rounds of the regular season. Having thrashed the Greyhounds by 60 points on Sunday, they meet an informed Denman side this weekend, the Devils coming off a 2-point thriller against Aberdeen. The Tigers tackle the Muswellbrook Rams on Saturday, who are coming off a narrow loss, beaten 22-18 by last year's grand finalist, Greta. And guys, that's our look at sport.
Thanks, Adam. Stay with us after the break. We'll take a look at all the local weather.
The long road to Olympic glory. Our athletes, their stories. We're with them in Paris for a current affair next.
Despicable Me 4 has landed at Macca's. NBN News. Why Minions? Try our banana desserts range for despicable grown-ups and a happy meal for your little minions. Despicable Me 4, only in cinemas. Don't let muscle pain hold you back. Voltaren Gel relieves pain to get you moving sooner. It's not just movement, it's making your eyes light up. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Building a sustainably sourced future so we can all come back for seconds. An eye for good. Bird's eye.
Extreme hair damage versus 3-minute miracle. Who's going to win? This is Pantene Miracles, and this is how it repairs 3 months of damage in 3 minutes. My hair wins, thanks to the Pro V formula with collagen from new Pantene Miracles.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing, but do you know what internet speed you're currently doing? Yeah, well, I need to inform you that you may be going under the limit. With Dodo, you'll usually be above advertised speed and get great deals like $19 off for 6 months. That's the real deal.
At Tank World, we're going for gold. Be first across the line and get an amazing deal. Like our 23 650-litre tank from only $24.95. Gold medal deals must end August 12th. Think Tank World. 1-800 68 69 70.
The Nick Scully Winter Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 50% at the Winter Sale. Ends Sunday at Nick Scully.
It's time to hit the ice and see your 6-time national champions, the Newcastle North Stars, take on the best from around Australia. For tickets and game day information, visit northstars.com.au. Major sponsor, Newcastle Psychiatry.
Take control of your future with our award-winning budget home loan. You could transform your dreams into reality. We're here to help people thrive. Talk to us or visit us at themutual.com.au.
Winter weather continues. Another cool morning with a stunning sunny day yet again, but a change is on the way. Take a look at the satellite, and patchy cloud near a front is bringing showers to the southeast of the country, while another system in WA is delivering heavy rain. Tomorrow, and that deepening cold front along with an unstable air mass will bring more rain and storms to much of WA. Onshore winds could deliver the odd shower to the Queensland coast. It was a fresh start to the day across the Hunter, but it didn't take long to warm up thanks to the beautiful sunshine, topping out at 19 at Nobby's Head, 20 the top at Lake Macquarie after a low of 2 degrees, down to 1 degree at Cessnock with a top of 19, ranging between 5 and 19 at Singleton. Tomorrow, good news, get set for another glorious day with blue skies and light winds, quite warm in some parts as well, reaching 21 degrees at Wallsend and Newcastle, 20 the top at Cessnock after a low of 3 degrees, between 5 and 20 at Singleton, down to 3 degrees at Muswellbrook. Coastal waters information now sees 2 metres with a 1.5 metre swell off the Hunter coast. The sun, that's up at 6:48 and it will set at 11 minutes past 5. The morning low is just before 4:30 and again at 4:11 in the afternoon. All right, let's take a look at what's in store for the week ahead for Newcastle. And tomorrow could be the last of the sunshine before the clouds and showers roll in. Up to 4 mils of rain expected on Friday, 21 on Saturday, 8 the low on Sunday, topping out at 17 on Monday. Scone, chilly mornings before the change on Friday, up to 9 mils of rain expected and a top of 20 degrees on Saturday. Monday is looking beautiful, 16 and sunny, and Gosford overcast conditions for most of the week with showers likely on Friday, up to 4 mils expected, top of 21 on Saturday after a low of 9 degrees. All right, let's enjoy the sunshine while we can.
I intend to. Thank you, Tyson. That's our bulletin for this Tuesday. A current affair is up next, and we'll have updates throughout the evening.
Thanks for your company from all the team here.
Good night.
Good night.